Hey guys, so Brendan and I have been college sweethearts. We dated for about 7 years before we got married. We had all the dreams that typical young lovers have, 2.5 kids, white picket fence, and a dog. Never in our wildest dreams did we imagine that we would have the challenges that we had to become parents. If you want to know more, keep watching and we'll tell you about our journey to parenthood. Hi, this is Marriage and Family Matters. I'm Sonia and this is my husband Brennan. Today we'll be talking to you about our journey to parenthood.
So our journey to parenthood has been a pretty challenging journey, like my wife said in the intro. We dated throughout college. I think we started in about 2001 dating each other, and we got married in 2008, got engaged in 2007. So we dated before we got married for roughly 7 years, 8 years. And like most people, when they're dating and they're seriously dating, you're talking, and we had talks about what our lives would look like when we were married. And we had the dream of becoming parents. Like all I ever wanted to do was to get married, to a beautiful wife, have a great or decent career, a nice house, a white picket fence, and a dog and some kids. Always wanted to be the father that I didn't have growing up. And we set out to accomplish that dream and that goal. And quickly and shortly after we got married in 2008, moved into our first home in June of 2009, we got pregnant. And we thought that our dreams were coming true, right? Everything was lining up. Careers were on the right direction. Just moved into a new home that we, were completely in debt to, and bought, new stuff like we've stated in our videos, and we got pregnant. And so this is what we thought the American dream was.
Oh yeah.
And but little did we know that pregnancy wouldn't go all the way through. We lost that pregnancy
In the second trimester.
in the second trimester.
I think that was 18 weeks.
Right before Thanksgiving. We went to find out the sex, what we were having, and found out that we no longer had a heartbeat. And for us, and I know for me, and definitely for my wife, that was probably the most difficult thing that at that time in our life we have experienced. And it didn't just stop there. We've had a number of pregnancies, as well as a number of losses. We've lost approximately, before we were able to conceive our son, Junior, we lost 6 pregnancies. Two of which, and correct me if I'm wrong, two of which were second trimester losses. And the whole ordeal was very challenging for us. It was very difficult for us. You can speak about maybe how difficult it was for you.
It was very devastating. It was emotional roller coaster. It was a blow to me as a woman. I don't know about how it made you feel, but it was hard for me as a woman. I'm getting emotional now, because it was, as a woman, you feel like that's my role. I'm supposed to be able to provide children, and we were facing this challenge, and we hadn't found a doctor that could explain why or what was going on. So that made it very challenging, but our passion, our heart was to be able to have a child, and we felt like though we were experiencing those losses, that was not the end of our story, and that I felt like God had a plan for us, and though I didn't know what it would look like or how it would be manifest, I didn't want to give up on being able to give birth to a child naturally. And so we had even started to consider adoption and looking at other avenues for being able to nurture and provide for a child. But at the same time, I was not ready to give up on being able to give birth to a child naturally. Thankfully, when I was emotional and caught up in dealing with the loss, my husband was very much all about researching and looking online to find out or read stories about other people who were having similar issues, and try to figure out if there was another doctor out there who was looking into some of the same issues we were having. And then Brendan came across another doctor who was doing something different, or the doctor or the actual patients who were successful by trying something different. And I can let you talk about that.
So I briefly talked about what she was saying, but let me backtrack a bit. So how I felt, how the multiple pregnancy losses affected me. That's fine. At one point, the first loss hurt me really, really deeply, and affected me. Like, I experienced pain in the death of, family members that, I was able to experience their life. But this pain was a lot deeper and hurt a lot because even though this child hadn't come into the world yet, I've already projected, a lot into this individual's life. I already envisioned what was going to happen, how great parents we were going to be, what we were going to do, for this child. And that was taken away. And so with the continued multiple pregnancy losses, I began to get upset with God. And I, quite honestly, I'm gonna just be honest. Like, I was pissed off. I was pissed to flip off. Like, I couldn't understand. We were pretty well off financially, or so we appeared to be. We had debt, but we weren't like struggling. We could have brought a kid into the world and afford to take care of him. We had pretty good educational backgrounds, and we had a lot of love to give, and we felt like we had a lot of spiritually we were in the right place to have a child. And for some reason it wasn't happening. I would drive around town and see these people who didn't seem to want their kids or can provide for their kids, who were providing kids, and I would get frustrated and mad. And I guess I got to the point where I just told God, I had to humble myself, and I said pretty much, God, whatever your will is, I'll accept it. And if I'm to be a parent, so be it. If I'm not, so be it. Just let me be able to parent somebody, whether it's through mentoring, whether it's through adoption, or just, somebody, in my family that may need some male, a parental figure. I just, I want to assume that role in some capacity. And, God had a plan for us, like my wife said. So I'll fast forward a little bit. After the continued multiple pregnancy losses, I got online and started reading forums. The Baby Center, pregnancy.com forums, like every forum for females that were pregnant, I was scouring the forums, trying to figure out what was going on, trying to find similar scenarios where individuals have had multiple pregnancy losses. And I did. And it was a forum about multiple pregnancy losses. And in that forum, I read where some women had met with a doctor in New York that specialized in helping females and families that had multiple miscarriages. And so for us, we were able to conceive. We just couldn't stay pregnant. And, we didn't say this earlier because it's a long story, but we had sought help with reproductive endocrinologists. We've done IVF, we did IUIs, we did all this stuff that we were told that would help us, have a baby, and it didn't. And for us, the issue wasn't being able to conceive. We could do that, so IVF was pointless. That was wasted money. We just couldn't stay pregnant. So we scheduled an appointment with this doctor in New York that we found on a forum, Dr. Braverman, and speaking with him, had a Skype call. I think he mentioned Dr. Shear, Jeffrey Shear, at the Share Institute who was a colleague of his who was into reproductive medicine, mainly specializing in females with multiple miscarriages and helping them, stay pregnant. Dr. Shear had several clinics all across the United States, I think like 5. Make a long story short, we ended up scheduling an appointment with him over Skype, went through our records, and then we drove out to Missouri to one of his clinics to meet with him and have a procedure done.
Well, wait, before we did that, actually, we did some testing with him.
I don't think that's too deep and too much information.
Okay.
And that'll make very drawn out. So we, and I'm trying to condense this because I don't want to make this extra long video. But we were able to get with him, and he prescribed a regimen for us that we, ultimately was able to use to get pregnant and stay pregnant. So we got pregnant and with our son Junior, and we had a normal pregnancy up until how long?
26, 27 weeks.
It was before that when we found out he was small. I think it was like 20.
23 and a half weeks is when we stopped the medication.
Yeah, so we around
That
23
was fine
weeks,
until then.
24 weeks, we found out that our son was not growing like he should. He was small. He was measuring smaller than he should be at his gestational age. And we also found that my wife had some issues with her placenta and the umbilical cord.
It was 25 weeks.
Okay. And so one day, because we had multiple miscarriages, we had to go see a high-risk doctor at Duke. So one day at our appointment, we were going to, just have a regular appointment, check on our son. And we noticed that the doctor came in, did the scan, and stepped out with the nurse. And took a pretty long time to come back in. And from experiences with multiple miscarriages,
that's not a good sign.
It's not a good sign. Normally when that happened for us, that meant that the baby had expired, that we had lost the baby. So we were thinking the worst at this time. The doctor came in and told us that the baby was really small, that my wife had reverse flow in her umbilical cord, that there was something wrong with with her placenta, and that we were to drive directly over to Duke University Hospital. Couldn't even stop for gas, stop for lunch, just told us to go. There's a likelihood that the baby would come pretty soon. And again, we were at this time 26 weeks.
I think it was 26 weeks at that point.
Yeah, so we did that. We drove over to Duke, checked in at the hospital. They were expecting us. They took us up to the ward where the babies are born. The maternity ward, and a doctor came in, a neurologist came in, and gave us this list of statistics. At this age, if your son is born today, he's gonna probably have brain bleeds, seizures, serious intellectual disabilities. He may have cerebral palsy. He may have, Fragile X, MR. I mean, just everything wrong that could be listed was listed. And, we're sitting there already having this experience of having multiple losses with babies. We're thinking, at least I was thinking, like, wow, I can't believe this is happening. I'm supposed to be happy, but I can't really be happy because my son, who's coming into this world, is going to come into this world with a lot of issues, a lot of physical and possibly mental issues. The plan from Duke University Hospital was to keep him in the womb as long as possible. So she was put on hospital bed rest in the hospital, and she lasted about a week, right? Before he came, and we got a video of that whole time back and forth. The day that he actually came, we'll try to link that in this video, so that we don't spend too much time on that. But again, fast forward a little bit, we had him at 27 weeks. Am I saying that's right?
Yeah, It was either 27 or 28. I don't know. Might have been in between the two.
It was 27 because it was 26 and he rounded up.
Okay.
He was born 1 pound 8 ounces, 13 inches long. He was a micro preemie, or you can look it up online. It's called intrauterine growth restricted, IUGR baby. And we were told when he was born that he was going to be pretty small, pretty skinny most of his life, and don't expect him to be anything but clumsy and unathletic, and maybe have some issues intellectually. My son stayed in the hospital for roughly 3 months.
Yeah.
And before he was able to come home. So he was born in August, and he didn't come home until October. And I can tell you that was a very, very difficult time for us. Every day, back and forth from where we lived to Duke University Hospital, which was 45 minutes away, each direction we would drive in order to see our son in the NICU. For 3 months, we missed 1 day of seeing him, and I don't even think it was a full day. We drove out of town because we had to go see family in South Carolina, and we came back. And I can tell you, just being away from him for that little bit of time,
It didn't even feel right.
But you seen our son in our intro video, and you can see that he looks like a normal toddler. He is 3 years old now, and he has like a slight speech delay that he's getting therapy for. But outside of that,
That's our miracle baby.
The kid is irritating. But I love him to death.
Not where I thought you were going with that.
But I love him to death. Like, I love him to death. And I look back at where he came from and everything that we went through to get him. And I'm just very thankful for him being able to irritate me. All right? Because when I get mad at him, I look at him and I be like, sometimes the emotions come because I'm like, I'm just thankful to be able to get mad at you because our history has been we've lost a lot of pregnancies. And even after he was born, we conceived again and got pregnant, and we lost pregnancy again. So that just, for us, put things, at least for me, put things in perspective. Like, we were very, very grateful to be able to become parents, and it's been very, very difficult for us. During this time while we were pregnant and losing pregnancies, we had friends and family members getting pregnant and having pregnancies. A lot of the pregnancies we didn't tell people about. It was just difficult to continue to have to tell that story.
Yeah.
And we didn't want people feeling sorry for us because we didn't feel sorry for ourselves because it could have been worse.
Right.
We know a lot of people since experiencing this that struggle with the same issues that we struggle with and that haven't been successful yet. And if you're one of those individuals, I'll encourage you to continue to try and have faith because we were able to conceive and stay pregnant. We continue to have faith, even though we, at least me, I floundered and struggled at one point.
It was, I think it's important to share our story because it was other people's story that kept helped me to continue to keep faith and to stay trusting in God and know that He would honor His promises in some form or fashion. Like we had mentioned, or Brendan had mentioned earlier, we had to be content in being able to parent in some way, not knowing whether it would be through a natural, being able to have our own child, or through some other form or fashion. So I would say don't give up, to be able to put your trust in God, but to also be content in whatever way He may choose to answer your prayers.
Yeah. And so, our title of our channel is Family and Marriage Matters. And this is a large reason, and this is a large reason of why it matters to us. Because it's been so difficult to get our family. It definitely matters. It's very important to me. I do anything and everything to protect my family. Don't try me. I will pop you. So serious about that. But it's very important. And so one of the reasons that we're doing this channel is because we want to help families in every aspect. You know, with finances, with just developing a family. What else? I don't know.
Health.
Health. We just want to.
Any
We just
way
want
we
to
can.
journal and chronicle our experience, and hopefully, it could be some information, a wealth of information, or motivation for individuals that are in our situation, or have been in our situation, or are currently going through something similar. We want to be there to be of support. And so, if you are experiencing something similar, or know somebody that is experiencing something similar, and you need some information, we have a lot of information about this whole ordeal with our difficulties in getting pregnant. Doctors in the North Carolina area, and some websites that you can take a look at. Like I said earlier in the video, we're going to try to link our video of our son Junior. It's titled Our Miracle Baby, and it sort of chronicles the pregnancy up until and
His
after
birth.
his 1 year.
Up
Yeah,
to his 1 year.
yeah. We did a video from when he turned 1. It showed that as his first birthday party. And so I'll try to link that in YouTube. We'll put the link in the description if you want to check that out. But we just wanted to sort of bring you our story, and we love to talk about finances, but there's some more beneath all of that we just wanted to share with you guys and be as honest as possible. So I know I'm monopolizing all of the time, and I apologize for that. But I'm done.
If
you got
you-
anything?
If you want to know more, feel free to reach out, or you can shoot us an email, or however you want to contact us. We're happy to share any information that might help you. Just if you want to subscribe, please subscribe. We'll have more videos that are hopefully helpful to you and your family. But keep watching. Hit that like button for us. And this has been Marriage and Family Matters.
Where marriage and family does matter. So, keep watching, guys. Oh, totally forgot. We're going to bring you some other videos regarding parenting, our experiences as first-time parents, and, some areas such as feeding and, oh my God, potty training.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clearly, it's an experience.
Potty training, man. Yeah. So, you'll see it in the video. Keep watching. Thank you, guys. Subscribe.